Good morning, y'all. Today we are going to make 3 freezer prep breakfast meals. We are going to start with a blueberry banana baked oatmeal muffins. These are a little more convenient to keep in the freezer than just like a cake pan of baked oatmeal because they're individually wrapped and they don't stick together. So you're going to start with 2 bananas. And mash those up. In this video, I add my cinnamon and vanilla, and then I remember that I need to mash my bananas. Also in this video, I'm making a double batch because I'm giving a bunch of these to a really good friend who just had a baby. So you're going to mash 2 bananas, and then you're going to add your 2 eggs, 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of oatmeal, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then you're going to mix all of that really well. After you get that all mixed together, you're going to divide this mixture into 12 muffin tins. Make sure you use muffin liners so that your muffins don't stick together. Also, they're easier to get out of the pan whenever you're done. And then you're going to bake them in the oven. Nope. Gotta put on some blueberries. So I usually top this with 5 to 6 blueberries per muffin. I'll let you decide how many blueberries you want to throw on there. And then you're going to bake it at 350 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. This makes 12 muffins. Before you put them in the freezer, you're going to want to take them out of the oven, set them out on the counter, and let them come to room temperature. And then you can put them in a freezer Ziploc bag and throw them in the freezer. If you don't let them come to room temperature first, then they tend to get moisture on the top, and then they'll get freezer burnt faster. So that's just a note. I just realized while editing this video that I only put 2 eggs into my double batch, and there really should have been 4 eggs. So if you catch that, I'm sorry. I'm telling you now, so you're going to catch it. But anyways, it's 2 eggs per batch. So I messed that up. I also messed up one of the other recipes so bad in the video that I recorded that I had to go back and re-record it. I had to go back and make the same recipe again so that I could put it in this video. So I'm doing really good things over here, you know. I'm not a hot mess. It's fine. On the day that I am recording this breakfast meal prep, I'm also recording the freezer prep of food that I shared last week. I did all of this food prep on one day, and it took me about 6 hours, you know, like a morning, where I just meal prepped a few dinners and a few breakfasts. We kept some of them, and then I gave some of them to my good friend who just had a baby, like I mentioned earlier. Next up, we are going to make freezer breakfast sandwiches. I started making these back in my public accounting days. I would meal prep a whole bunch of food, like in December, so that during tax season, you know, like January through April, I didn't have to make myself breakfast or any food really. Like I would meal prep all of this food in December, and then I would just eat that food January through April, and it was great. So I learned how to make these then. I thought about buying breakfast sandwiches at the grocery store, and then I saw the price and I was like, yeah, I can't afford that. So I figured out how to make these, and I've been doing it ever since. Um, it takes a little bit of time to prep, but they are, I mean, they're great to have in the freezer. So just a note before you start, you need to make your biscuits and your eggs on the same size sheet pan. So if you do not have two of the same size sheet pans, you will need to bake your biscuits, take them off the sheet pan, let the sheet pan cool, and then bake your eggs on the same sheet pan. So that's just a note. I have like 3 of these large sheet pans, so I don't have to worry about it. But if you only have one, you're obviously going to have to adjust. So on a large sheet pan lined with parchment paper, you're going to put down 24 biscuits and bake them per the instructions. You can use frozen biscuits, biscuits in a can, or the biscuits from scratch. I do have a scratch biscuit recipe that I will share with you eventually, but for the purposes of this video, I'm using frozen biscuits. I almost never use anything other than frozen biscuits for this recipe. But you can use any of those options, whichever you prefer. And then you're going to put your biscuits in the oven, bake them per the regular baking instructions, take them out and let them cool completely. To make the eggs, you're going to finely dice 1/2 of a medium yellow onion. In this video, you're going to see me use dehydrated onion pieces just because I'm being lazy. But normally I would finely dice 1/2 of a medium yellow onion. In a large mixing bowl, you're going to add your onion, a 12-ounce bag of frozen chopped spinach, 24 eggs, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. You're going to mix that really well and then dump it onto a greased sheet pan that's the same size as your sheet pan that you just put your biscuits in the oven on. You will then bake it at 350 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. Then you're going to take it out, let the eggs completely cool, and then you're going to cut them into 24 squares. The way mine get cut on the specific sheet pan is 4 on the short edge and then 6 on the long edge. So after your biscuits and eggs are completely cooled, then it's time to assemble. Before you start assembling, we're going to do a little assembly prep. So you will need 24 dampened paper towels, and you're going to dampen those with 1 cup of water. You can skip this step. However, I will tell you they heat up a lot easier in the microwave if you don't skip it. So you're going to stack 24 paper towels on a plate, dump 1/2 of a cup of water on one side of them, flip over the stack of paper towels, and dump another 1/2 of a cup of water on that side. And then you're going to leave those sitting there for a couple of minutes, and I strongly suggest you use the press and seal wrap. It just is a little easier to work with. However, you can use saran wrap. I have done that before in a pinch, but press and seal definitely works better. So if you're using the press and seal, you can go ahead and pull off 24 square pieces of press and seal wrap. If you are using saran wrap, you will want to pull off a piece as you use it. Otherwise, they just get stuck together and you're going to get frustrated. So after you have your press and seal pieces pulled off and your paper towels wet, it's time to start assembling. You're just going to lay down 1 piece of press and seal, 1 damp paper towel in the center of the press and seal. You're going to cut a biscuit in half, sandwich style, put the bottom half on the middle of the paper towel, put down 1 square of egg, 1 piece of ham, or 2 half pieces of fully cooked bacon, 1 slice of American cheese, and then you're going to top it with the other half of your biscuit. Then you're going to wrap the paper towel around the sandwich and then wrap the press and seal around the paper towel wrapped sandwich. Then you're going to repeat that 23 more times. Once you have all of your sandwiches assembled, You can put them into some kind of container. I usually use a freezer Ziploc bag. You can fit 9 sandwiches into one bag. However, you can use like a large food storage container or something like that. You just want something to contain them and give them a little extra protection from your freezer. Then you're just going to stick them in the freezer and pull them out as you need them. I'm not going to give you a heat up time for your microwave just because that depends on your microwave, and I have learned that from experience. I would suggest just starting with 1.5 minutes and then heating it up, in 30-minute intervals after that to get it to the correct temperature. Then you're going to remove all of the wrapping and eat them. Yes, you put everything in the microwave, including the press and seal. I have done it with saran wrap, and I've rarely had an issue with that being, not okay to put in the microwave. However, some higher power microwaves might cause an issue with the saran wrap, but never with the press and seal. So anyways, 1.5 minutes, additional 30 minutes until you hit the desired temperature. These things are so convenient to have on hand. I cannot tell you how convenient they are. It's just... All right, y'all, here is the remake of my creamy hash brown breakfast casserole. I almost always make this as a double batch. I can't even remember a time that I've made a single batch except for probably the very first time. I always make a double batch and throw 2 pans into the oven, not in the oven, the freezer. And so whenever I made this the first time, I completely botched it. It was not good. I mean, it tasted okay. It just wasn't this. I mean, it's not my recipe. So anyways, I start by mixing 15 ounces of frozen hash browns and 2 10.5-ounce cans of cream of mushroom soup. You mix that together and put it in the bottom of a greased baking dish. Then you're going to mix together 12 eggs, 1 pound of cooked sausage, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic in that same mixing bowl after you've dumped out the hash browns. You're going to mix all that together, dump that over the hash browns, and then top it with 2 cups of cheese. You're going to bake this at 350 degrees for about an hour. And like I said, usually I make this in a double batch because hash browns come in 30-ounce bags. And whenever I went to make this the first time, I didn't write down the recipe. I was just using my memory, and I put in the whole bag of hash browns and then only 2 cans of the cream of mushroom soup. I didn't half the hash browns, and I halved everything else, and it just... Oh, and I forgot to put on the cheese. Yeah, I forgot to put on the cheese because I got distracted by my children. So, mom life, whatever. But anyways, this is a quick and easy one. It's great to keep in the freezer. We usually keep, like I said, 2 of these in the freezer, and then once I use up the second one, I will make another double batch of it. Like I said earlier, I started making all this stuff during tax season back whenever I was a public accountant. And yeah, so in December I would make like 6 of these, and then we would eat one like every other week. So anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you have an awesome rest of your week. I'm sorry I didn't get the recipes up ahead of time. Part of that's because I didn't have this last one completely finished since I had to re-record it. All of the what are the words? All of the recipes are linked down in the description. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button if you enjoy this kind of content. Share this content with your friends if you think they will like it too. And yeah. You guys have an awesome rest of your week, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, y'all.